She smiled at me. She's the perfect one, you see. Her eyes are so bright. They light the way across the darkness. She made me cry, made me lie, made me dance. I don't know why, I can't forget what she did, what she said when I told her stay. Please stay. Please stay. I know her name, a name that's written in my soul. The birds fly around me, whisper foolish memories. She made me cry, made me lie, dance with me. I don't know why, I can't forget what she did, what she said when I told her stay. Please stay. Dun, dun. I lay asleep. The dreams will never come to me. What can I do? Escape from the thought of you. You made me cry, made me lie, made me dance. I don't know why, I can't forget what she did, what she said when I told her stay. Please stay. Please stay. Please stay. Please stay.
Hi everyone, how are you? Oh my god. Alright, so a couple different things here going on. Number one, yes, I'm wearing my glasses because we're going to talk about songwriting, and I thought I better have my notes this time and I better be able to read them because last week it was impossible to read my own handwriting in my notebook without my glasses, which is sucky, but it's true. Screen stuff's okay, but it's weird. I have to read and write with my glasses now, which is, you know, it's part of getting old, that sort of thing. But how are you? Quick hello to everyone who's here. Ooh, God, it says it's stream's still getting ready, which is funny. Claudio B in the house, Wendy, Roberto, Steven, or Stefan, Eric, Junior, Frazao, JPK Knights, Alex, Lalo, how are you, Lalo? Alfonso, oh, I've got a treat for you, my friend. JP in the house. Did I say that right? Is JP in the house? Oh, JP might be missing. West T side, hi. Eric, my, Candile. Is that right? Or just Candial? Walter, David, Raul, Jeff, how are you? Brian, oh my gosh. Now the chat's like scrolling, so thank you so much. Um how are you, all of you? Welcome back to another episode of whatever this is now, because it's obviously not a quarantine stream anymore. But if you're just joining us, and it's just started for you, well, that's good in a weird way. So tonight's topic is actually part two of songwriting, which was last week, which I thought was pretty fun. Although I have to say that without my notes, it was a little dicey in certain sections as I was listening back. So I'm going to go over some stuff again just to make sure that we're all on the same proverbial page. I've got my notes sitting right here by the synth cam, just sitting here waiting for me to use them. Oh, there's little Claude over by the globe. And yeah, and if all goes well, you'll get to hear some music. But first, I wanted to say, because I got this last week and I didn't notice it until after the thing was over. Thank you, Midnight Dragon, for that super chat. That was really awesome of you. Thank you so much. I do appreciate the super chats and the buy me coffees and all that stuff. So that's really nice. Thank you so much. I wanted to make sure that I said thank you because I got the notification afterwards and I realized, like someone sent me money and I didn't even say thank you. That sucks. So anyway, but thank you. And I thank you, all of you, for being here. So before we get into it, a little bit of news. So a couple things going on. I have a show that is not quite announced, meaning there's no tickets yet, but they should be going up shortly for November 2nd in New Jersey. That's going to be fun. For those of you that are not of the Jersey crowd, let me explain. So ABOX started in Jersey, and obviously the first fan base that we built was in New Jersey in basically two clubs, the Loop Lounge and the Pipeline. And between the two, like, that's where we grew everything. And in between that was Aldo's, which we didn't really play at Aldo's, but we frequented Aldo's all the time. It was our like hangout spot between gigs. But so they're doing a reunion on November 2nd of all three clubs, and A-Box is going to be there, and Mikey's going to be there doing some DJ work. And yeah, it's going to be fun. Anyway, I will have the Mai says we can still call it a quarantine stream, but well, kind of, because I'm stuck in here. But yeah, so I'll announce the the official. I put a flyer up, but there's no ticket links yet. But I thought I'd start mentioning it now because it's happening. Um, so yeah, so that's news number one. News number two is that all the audio portions of the album are done. They're done. Oh my God, they're done. I can't believe that the album is done. And that's going to be awesome. I've already uploaded it to all the major things. It's just set for a release date because there's going to be physical stuff involved and I've got to get that kind of squared away. But release date is set for September 6th, which is, yes, my birthday. September 6th is the day that I leave the 59ers Club, as it were. I can't even believe I'm saying that, but it's true. On September 6th, I leave the 59ers Club. So for me, it seemed apropos that the album should hit the street on my 60th birthday. And so, rain or shine, it will make, at least the digital version will make that deadline. I can't say the same for everything else, but the digital version will make that deadline. And we'll have a party here because it falls on a quarantine stream. So what we're going to quarantine stream. See, I said it, but it does. It falls on a Friday. And unless I have a show for my birthday, which I'm hoping that I don't in this case, I will be, we'll bring in the album together and we'll have a listening party and all that stuff. Aw, thank you for that, Lisa. I won't even repeat what you just said, but thank you. 60 is the new 27. I know what you said, but for me, it's the 27. But, Beetlejuice opening day is also September 6th. I know, I saw that. That's so funny. I thought that was really funny. Although, to be honest, I don't know why they decided to make that sequel like 40 years later. Yes, I wasn't even digressing. But yeah, so thank you all of you for being here. We'll get into it right now. It'll start with before I play another song, I thought we'll get into the first segment of the talk. So the talk, in case you're not aware, last week we were talking about songwriting, and I'll do a quick recap before I play the next track. So last week we talked about a little bit about lyrics. We talked about some song structure, whether, you had to have normal song structure in a song to make it a good song. We talked about music before lyrics or vice versa. And that area, I don't think we discussed enough. So I'm going to bring that one back. We did discuss it, but we didn't discuss certain aspects of it that I wanted to cover, which I find that are really more on the important side of things when it comes to lyrics versus music first. And there's a practical reason why I think that that's an important topic. So I want to bring that back. We talked a little bit about the little man, but we did not talk about who the little man communicates with. If you don't know who the little man is, it's basically your subconscious brain that runs your bodily functions, but also functions as a hard drive that stores every single emotional and every experience you ever had, files it away, and it is written in stone. So we said to watch out what you believe in, watch out what you tell your subconscious, because it gets wired back in there and that could hurt songs tremendously. Roberto says there are some songs you couldn't play last week, so hope to listen to them tonight. And today it's the muses part of the compositions, right? That is correct. I'm going to start off with this particular aspect of the topic, which it may sound like it's off topic, but it's going to be built around some aspects of lyric writing or lyrical framing. So a friend of mine named Carlos and I wrote a song together when we were quite young, before Anything Box was a trio, actually. and he had this song, and I didn't really understand. He had this verse, and I was trying to like make sense of it. And for me, the topic was very abstract. So he kind of broke down a little bit what he meant by this particular topic. And as it turned out, it was very abstract, so abstract that I didn't get it the first time. And so we went back, reworked the song, made it, for lack of a better word, more poppy. And we simplified all the verses and the choruses of the song. And to this day, every time that A-Box ever played it, people thought it might be a, pro-religion song or something. And it's not, but it also isn't not that. In other words, it brings up a very abstract idea, but tries to frame it in a very different way. And so I thought this one would be a good one to talk about lyric framing, because lyric framing is an interesting thing. The words you choose can put visions and ideas in someone's head. So therefore, what you're saying should have some thought behind it. You should be thinking about these things as you write. Because obviously, and I'm not saying put yourself in someone else's head. We talked about that a little bit last week, but it's the framing of an idea. Is it very abstract, or is it very concrete? Like, for example, if I say, I don't like you, that's very concrete. However, if I say, I have a laundry list of things about you, you may not know whether it's good or bad. It depends on the next sentence, whether I frame it as something that's, quote, a good thing or a bad thing. Depends a lot on what my choice of words are after that. So I think this song kind of gives a good example of that. And then we'll talk more about framing in a second, because framing the song is I think as important as, let's say, color choices would be for an artist for design. And I float in both worlds, so I think color choices are very similar to lyric framing. I've seen a lot of lyrics where the framing is so much all over the place that I can't follow the song, so therefore the song's not going to have closure. And even if the chorus is really good, it doesn't always carry through. Now, does that mean that you should always frame things? Maybe not. Maybe. But here's an example using my own stuff. And by the way, I will be talking about some songs by other artists that I wanted to talk about. I can't play them, unfortunately. Otherwise, I get a copyright strike. Although I'm probably going to get a copyright strike on my own stuff, because some of my own material is still, under other contracts. So that's an unfortunate thing. But in this case, no. So this is called, well, I'll leave that part out. You figure it out, how it frames the lyric. So, yeah, welcome to my church. But see, in the beginning, the lyrics didn't have the whole church thing. It had all this weird, I want to call it abstract imagery. And we were trying to outdo each other with the abstract. And then I realized that we didn't know what we were talking about. What are we talking about? And then he said, my mind. We're talking about the mind. And I was like, oh, welcome to my psyche, like my brain, my mind, my heart. But we're using the abstract nature of a church, that we're going into a church, which is, big, and it's got like, it's, it's a religious experience, or it's got this solemnness to it. And so a lot like when someone says, this is my sanctuary. So you can be abstract, but just realize that the lyrics, when they're abstract, are going to be misinterpreted. And that's sometimes unfortunate. For example, and I think we brought it up last week, but I want to bring it up because this is another one that kind of cuts a little bit for me sometimes. I get a lot of people who will come up to me and say, oh, thank you for Carmen, because thanks to you, my friend didn't kill herself, or a friend of mine took their own life. And, Carmen is obviously about suicide. When someone says obviously, that means that they've really thought about it. And to them, that is exactly what it means. And it means that either A, my lyrics were too abstract, and that's what they got from it, or that's what was extrapolated. But it was funny because I looked into an AI's interpretation of Carmen, and and the AI thought it was about suicide too. So obviously, uh, a little bit of a fail on my part on that, because it wasn't about that. It was about running away. It was running away from a situation where the person knew that the best thing for them was to leave the situation and start a whole new life. Now, could that be applied to? Could the lyrics of Carmen be applied to suicide? Of course. Um, in the end, do I care? No, because I think that if that's what happened, and that's what the interpretation did for someone, it's worth it not correcting them. So that's another thing that as a songwriter you will learn, which is people will bring up their version of a song as if they know the meaning behind it, and they could be completely off, but it isn't really your job anymore to set them straight. It's sort of like you have to understand and accept that they took it in as whatever it is, and it had this effect on their life. And whatever that effect is, it belongs to them too. Hence, you know, it goes back to something we were talking about a little bit last week, which was you write for yourself, but once you release it, it becomes everybody else's song. It's no longer yours. And that's something that I've kind of stuck to in my many years of doing this, which is, yeah, it's close to me. I feel it really close. And it's like, I don't want to release it. It's too close. It's too personal. It's whatever. But then once it goes out, it ceases to be mine. Now it's going to be open to interpretation from everyone else. So, but yeah. But it's not the first time that someone has said that to me about that song. So obviously, for some people, that's the interpretation, and that's fine. Like I said, I don't mind. But of course, even in the lyric, it says she ran away. So, but maybe in some person's mind, the abstract notion of running away is giving up. So, do you see what I mean by what the abstract framing or the framing of a lyric? You might be saying like, "Hey, I'm running away," whereas another person's saying, "I'm running away from life itself." The two are the same thing, but they're very abstract, very different points of view. But it can be said in a sentence. So, so framing. So you're framing it, like, that's what I mean by lyric framing. You're framing the situation that's about to happen. So what you want, or what you would hope for, unless you're trying to be purposefully obscure, which is another thing altogether, and that's fine. That's totally okay if you want to do that. Um, Although I will say this, the more obscure your lyrics get, or the weirder that they get, the more difficult it becomes if you're going to perform them. Because performing lyrics and writing lyrics are two different things, which I've learned the hard way, and sometimes forget that lesson, and it happens over and over and over again. Um, and I'm going to get to that one in a second, and I'm going to play a song that somebody requested last week. So why is simplifying even an abstract idea important? Well, it has there's several reasons why you want to do it. Number one, you want to be as concise as possible with the thought and the idea. You want to get something across, even if it's, like, I'll give you an example. Let's say that I write a lyric, and the lyric starts off with, "She wore a black dress." And the only thing that I wrote past that sentence, or, like, let's say that all I did was describe the black dress, the evening, she walked through the room, blah, blah, blah. You think, or where your mind's going to lead you is, oh, it's a girl he saw, uh, whatever, and he's going to, your brain jumps ahead. He's going to talk about how they fell in love, right? So the more that you describe those kinds of things, you're framing something, and you better deliver on it. Because if you suddenly switch back and suddenly the song is something else, it's sort of like you're taking the person out of the story. It's like a scene in a movie where the scene just doesn't fit at all. It could be something abstract. Yeah, she wore a black dress could easily be about a cat. This is true. So, but if I say she wore a black dress as dark as the darkness of her heart, you already know where that song's going. You already know what's about to happen, or what the song is going to be about. Like, I've just framed it. Do you understand the little subtlety there? There's a famous song. I think it's called "Devil with the Blue Dress." Exactly that scenario. It's a pretty song. It's very upbeat, but it's "Devil with a Blue Dress." And so when you hear that, or when you sing it, or when you see it on paper, you already know it's not necessarily a positive thing. You're framing those lyrics. So the idea of framing a lyric right from the beginning, I like that idea. And I tend to use that a lot. Not always, but I tend to use it a lot. I'll give you an example from obvious things, like, for example, "Living in Oblivion" is probably the most famous example, but, you can't hide the pain. It's already saying something it's not going to be about some happy thing. It's already framing the rest of the things that are going to follow. So that if I take it to the logical conclusion, I know this all sounds all technical, but it's something you have to feel, and then you correct. So taking it back from last week, everything I say is malleable. Take whatever what you get and use it for whatever you want. So it doesn't have to fit in some, little box. Oh, Claude said this, so I have to do it this way. You don't. Do what's good for you. I'm just giving you little nuggets of things that I've learned along the way. And that is where we had left off, really, is, we were talking about lyrics. And I felt like we hadn't talked enough about framing and about logical follow-up to, what leads to the chorus. why choruses sometimes sound really great and big is because you've been led there. And when they sound weak, it's because you weren't led there. And so the chorus is actually the letdown. Now, there's good examples of songs that work without this, you know. God, nobody's talking, so I must be boring right now. But anyway, I'm going to play a song where I framed it correctly, but I complicated the lyrics to the point where when we were to play this live, I would mess them up all the time. So that's another thing. Practice the lyrics you write. Are they easy to sing? Did you make it so that you could sing them back yourself and memorize them? Because you have to listen intently. So thank you, Wendy, for that. That's actually a good phrase for it. But yeah, you have to listen back and think to yourself, can I emote these lyrics in a much simpler way, get the feeling across, even if it's abstract, get everything across and still memorize it for me to perform it? Because if you can't later perform it because you have to have a piece of paper in front of you, well, now you have a problem. And this is usually the downfall of all the bands that usually will say something like, we write in the studio, but we never play out because our music is too complicated. That's, if you want to do that, that's fine. However, I find that if you can simplify things to their, not the lowest common denominator, but the most simplest phrases that you can muster that still sound good. They could still sound poetic. They can still sound abstract, but they have to cut through. Here's an example where I feel I failed, but actually I like this song a lot, but it is what it is. I very rarely play it out because generally speaking, I tend to mess it up. So this one was for, I have it written. I have everything written down today. This was for JP, which wanted to also know if the song has a resolution. It does, maybe. But here it is. Dirt. And it's a slightly different mix too, by the way. Here we go.
You can hide your precious tears, but it won't get rid of all regrets. All the colors of the fall won't lend a hand when you decide to fall. So clear away the scars that were left behind by things you hate. Will you ever love again? All the dirt is gone. Wash away the dirt. Let your feelings hurt. Drive away the shame. Be yourself again. All this grind is just a sham. The icing on a cake made of sand. Now becoming dust. Where you came from, you were sure
So we're back. So it has to do so on the topic of lyrics and all that stuff because we're going to get into we got into this topic last week, but Steve on Meta, Steve Legros asked, "Do you start with lyrics to build their melody, time, signature, tempo, or does the order process differ from song to song?" The process always differs from song to song. However, I've sort of figured out um, a way to streamline that process. So this is going to get into a little bit of production stuff for some of you. So sorry, I'm going to fix the microphone. Different camera. Looking at that one over there. I switch them up. So, if I remember correctly, she said, whoa. Sorry, I'm trying to follow 10 conversations at once. Hello, for those of you that just arrived. So the question was, do we start with lyrics and we build from there, melody, time, signature, tempo, or does the order process differ from song to song? So the short answer to that is it goes back to the chicken and the egg theory of last week, which was what comes first, lyrics or the music? And 9 out of 10 times, I will say that the music will dictate. However, I think that I wasn't clear enough last week, and I want to make sure that you don't make this mistake. When I say music first, I do not mean a full, finished, fully fleshed out arrangement of a song. For me, that is a song killer. It will never work for me. So for example, if I came up with, I don't know, there's some crazy bass line and I'm, oh wow, I've got a bass line. Oh my God, let me add that synth. Oh my God, let me add a string on top of that. Let me add percussion and oh my God, it's sounding good. It's sounding good. Now I need a bridge. And now from this bridge, I'm going to go into chorus. And then, but I haven't even sung to it at all, like meaning that I haven't gotten any ideas for it whatsoever. It's almost doomed to failure because what's going to happen is I'm going to spend a month arranging the song, getting the song together with all its constituent parts, and then I will have not a single idea for a lyric because the entire arrangement isn't dictating, or is dictating where I should take the voice, where the voice should go. And of course, I'm speaking from a type 2, which means I'm writing songs for myself. It's different if I was writing songs for someone else. I might do an arrangement or something. Yeah, I could do it that way. But for me, the process is it has to start in a very simplistic form first. Meaning, can I play it on a piano? Can I play it with just 2 notes? Can I play it with 1 note? And a lot of my best stuff has come from 1 note. I kid you not. So an example of this would be taking a bass guitar and trying to write a song with nothing but the bass guitar. And it's hard because you're dealing with probably 1 to 2 strings at most, unless you're really going to play 4 strings on a bass, which is not even doable to play chords per se. But you can do weird open chords on the high notes, and that's kind of cool, new ordery thing. But anyway, I digress. Sorry, you know what that means. And if you don't know what it means when I say that, it means I have to take a drink. And so do you. No, but I'm kidding. But not really. But so what I'm saying is, in its most simplistic form, I will find a sound and I will see if the sound itself will give me something. If I can do it with 1 sound, meaning 1 particular sound, I think that it'll lead me somewhere. And I always know if it leads me somewhere. Of course, I've trained myself to do this. The beginning songwriter will have to train themselves to do this. So It's not a superpower. It's just something that takes time. And so that's another thing we have to talk about, which is time. But what's happening is I'll play a bass. I'll play a bass line, whether it's on an electric bass or on a bass synth, whatever it is. And if I hear something, because I'm listening for it, whatever that melody is, that will become, oh, I've got something. And then the first thing I'll do is record that, like whatever it is, just this bass line with me playing it and a quick, nonsense lyrics of whatever happens to come out comes out. And as I do this, what'll happen is on the next take of this, I will develop it. And now it'll take me to where it will go. Steve Baldo. Haha, Steve, that's funny. Claude with songwriting. How did the rap portion of Dirt come about? I knew I wanted Gary to do something. And I knew I wanted Gary to do it live. So for Gary's sake, I wrote that part so that he could actually be the person to do it live. So you could say it was like, we were trying different cross genre jumping there. And so I didn't think of it as a rap. Like on the record itself, I don't think it sounds like or comes off as a rap. But when Gary did it live, it definitely came off as a rap. So I think that, that's kind of what, that's funny, Roberto. I will not do my own wine and beer. I don't do that. But I digress. Sorry. So yeah, so a lot of these, questions about lyrics first, or like lyrics can come first if you've got a melody. So for example, if I have a melody in my head and suddenly I have a lyric in my head, I absolutely will grab the recorder because I know that I've got something, and from there I feel it can get a lot easier because I've got a song. So it's not so much because it sounds dubious, right? Because it is very abstract. I don't know anyone that sits down and says, I'm going to write 121 beats per minute, 4/4 dance song with this type of bass line, and the lyric is going to go something about blah, blah, blah. You could do that. But I feel that such experiments are more to get rid of blocks and things of that nature than they are like trying to find something. So I'm going to play a song because when we're coming up on the 9. So I've got 2 songs to play before we hit 9 o'clock. So otherwise we'll miss the whole second hour. I know it's going by fast, isn't it? So this one is for Wendy. Wendy had requested. Oh my God, where is it? Uh-oh. Did I not look? Oh, there it is. Oops. Sorry. I had done something wrong here. Wendy had requested Because, and rather than playing the one that people know the most, which is the diary version, or this is a weirder version from Mixology. This is Because. This is the 1995 version of Because. So this is technically Anything Box doing Because the first time. Not to be confused with the live version that I've been playing. So yeah, a different one. This one also used to be called the orchestral version for whatever reason. Listening back to this one today made me mad because I was like, oh, I can hear the DAT graininess. DATs. I love modern technology. Anyway, but I did my best to clean it up. But Because, the 1995 version. And when we come back, we're going to go back to the little man. And we're going to enter into who or what the little man talks to, because this is an important topic when it comes to songwriting. All right, here we go. Yeah, overhead sounds good. Thank you. Thank you so much. Uh-oh. Did I lose my microphone? Uh-oh. Have I been like really low the whole time? Oh man, I hope I haven't been. Have you guys been able to hear me okay the whole entire time? Because I think I might have messed up on my microphone. Oh boy. Yes, it was timpani. Thank you. Yeah, what, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's, oh, but it's much better now, Steve. Thank you. Yeah, I think I had the mic really low. Gosh, so dumb considering all the stuff we were talking about. Oh well. Oh, but it is what it is. So I've got my notes in front of me somewhere. My little notes. And so we're gonna. This is where we're gonna get into weird esoteric territories now. And so because we've got 1 hour, but we're gonna cover it in different. We're gonna cover this in different little aspects here. So a disclaimer, and in case you weren't here last week, the disclaimer is you're gonna hear weird things like angelic forces, cosmic forces, all these kinds of things. If this kind of stuff bothers you, you can think of it as inspiration, science. You can even call it string theory, because it's actually it's very reminiscent of string theory and the way molecules tend to move. So yeah, we're going to get into this now. So last week I touched on the little man, and I like calling him the little man. I read this in a book a long time ago. It resonated with me, and I was able to have a very good communication with my little man. So the little man is basically your subconscious. It's running your brain. It's running your heartbeat. It's regulating body temperature, all these different things that your subconscious does. Your subconscious brain is literally running things in the background so you don't have to think about them. For example, you don't have to stop and think to breathe. You can breathe mindfully, which is something we're going to talk about, but you don't need to. Your body knows to have your body knows because your subconscious is running it. It knows to breathe. It knows to pump blood. It knows to do these things. So an interesting experiment that you can try so that you can see the little man in action yourself, and he may need a little bit of coaching from you because he probably hasn't been talked to by you for a long time. One really cool exercise to use is think of someone that you haven't talked to in a really long time. It could be a friend that you haven't talked to, and like you're wondering, like, what happened to so and so? I want to hear from so and so. I want so and so to call me, and it would be nice to hear from them. Little man, make it happen. Like just give it that command. So by giving him that direct command, little man goes to work. And what you're going to find out is that these are those kinds of things that happen where suddenly you get the phone call and it's like your friend and he's like, hey, I don't know what, but I was thinking about you and I thought I'd call. Boom. Little man took care of business. Now, that's only part of it. So the other thing is when you forget a phone number and you're like, oh, I forgot so-and-so's phone number. Man, I can't remember it. I think it was this, but it could be that. I'm not sure. Little man, go to work. Give me that number. Little man goes to the back of your brain, opens up the file cabinets. He starts looking around. He's like, oh my God, he's got to have this number. He's got to have this number. Phew. Could be 2 days later, but there's the number. And he's like, he pops it into your head. And there it is. There's that phone number. Or at least you remember, oh, I have this book. I wrote his number in the back of the book. Because remember what I said, little man files away everything. Exactly. And you start, and on Meta said an excellent thing here. And if you just start dialing, it suddenly comes to you. So these are the things that the little man does. Now, the little man has another function that we don't tend to use quite often, but songwriters use it a lot. And the other thing that the little man can do is he can dial forces that are outside of you. He's able to cross space and time. He's able to connect to other levels of existence, other levels of science, other levels of all kinds of alternate universes, and grab an answer and bring it back to you. You don't have to believe me. But just the idea that by using your imagination, you are able to access higher levels of existence is good enough. Meaning, if you could find it in your psyche to say that there could be things outside of me that can bring me ideas, and if so, I want the little man to go grab them. He will do it for you. The little man will go to work and will find places, people, words, melodies, song structures, and he will finish the job. So why is this important to songwriting? Why would this even be an important thing? Well, I'll explain. These are do's and don'ts. Again, we're talking about songwriting in the context of songwriting. Let's say that you're writing a song and you've gotten as far as the verse and the chorus. Or let's say that you have the verse, but you don't have a chorus. And you're sitting there pounding it out for like 4 hours. There has to be something. Two things invariably will happen, and they're both bad. One, you get tired of the song and you hate it, which is the worst thing that could happen. And then the second is that a half-assed idea comes through and you're like, oh, this is good enough. But was it really? Was it good enough? And is good enough good enough? This is a decision that you would have to make. But here's how that works. So for example, let's say that I've worked on the song for 4 hours. I still can't find the chorus. I sing a half-assed thing. I decide that, yeah, it'll work. It'll just work. I go through the trouble of arranging the rest of the song. I go through the trouble of mixing it, mastering it. And then when I listen to the finished master, I just think it's kind of sucky. It doesn't do what I wanted it to do. This is because you didn't give the job to the little man. You took it on yourself. And that's not a bad thing. However, just know that if you finish a chorus or a verse and you say to yourself, it's good enough, that isn't good enough. It has to be better than good enough. It should be something we strive for. So how do we know? I'll tell you. When the arrangement seems to be working, but you're not getting the chorus, and in this case, we're using the chorus as an example. I've got an excellent verse. I got it in my head. It's a great verse. Oh my God, blah, 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 blah. It goes like this. It's going to work. But I can't get the chorus. What do? You say to the little man, literally, hey, little man, help me with this. Find me the right chorus. I'm going to put this away. I'll come back to it later. Could be 2 days later, 3 days later. When it happens, when you got something, just give it to me. Walk away from it. Let it go. And I will tell you what's going to happen. The little man will search through, first of all, the file cabinet of every single melody you've ever played or thought about in your head. And he's going to be better at sifting through all the data in your brain and saying, this melody from song X with this melody from song Y, when combined, will be perfect as that chorus. He just didn't realize it yet because this part is 5 years old and this part he wrote 3 weeks ago. Wow, I can't believe he let me do this. So he puts the two together. You're eating your sandwich the next day. You're not even thinking about the song, and boom, there's that chorus. And you're like, oh my God, that's the freaking chorus. That's the chorus. That's when you go home. That's when you finish the song. That's when you tell yourself, wow, I did it and it's really good. I really like it. It's better than it just works. That's what it should sound like in your head. And we talked about this last week. if in your head you start saying stuff like, well, that's because I'm really not that good at choruses, you need to, right off the bat, that's the program we got to eliminate first. Because if that's the first thing that comes into your head, it's already a problem. You have to start saying that you're going to get good at it, and you have the little man who has the entire universe at his disposal to go find a song. And you can't ask him to find stuff outside of, outside of Earth if you want to. Go find me some alien song. I don't care. But Lisa says on Facebook, some of my favorite songs have a completely different musical arrangement for the chorus and the rest of the song. Absolutely. They can, and they should, in certain cases. Anyway, time to play a song, and I better play it now. This one was not a request, per se. But I decided to play it because there's another thing that I'm putting together for September, completely off topic, but it is a disc I'm going to put together for September that can only be had when I'm on tour. I've been thinking about this a lot. So there's a tour disc that I'm going to travel around with. So it's not going to be on Bandcamp. You're not going to find these things on anywhere. The only way you can get them is if you come to the shows. So, this is going to be one of those things that are on there. And so I thought I would play that for you since no one else requested something. You had 10 requests and I only got 6. So the other 4 were my choices, but here we go. Hello.
I saw the sun, or was it your eyes filling me with that countenance of light, motionless? They just became the warmth, settled within me ever after. I felt the wind, or was it your skin brushing me? Shook me to my very core, I have to say. Oh, what a feeling coming over me ever after. Now dance with me. I stole a kiss, the taste was perfect. Our lips collide, sends me through the stratosphere, above the stars, beyond my woven dreams, where I'm flying through the ever after. 'Cause all those things I used to be seem so meaningless, and somehow thoughts that cross the deep blue seas float right back in my I love yous. As it stands and as it were, I will love you till the end. May
Danya in the background there. So yeah, well, the story of the song is not worth telling, and it's not. The only thing you need to know about this song is that the mistake I made was I released it under a different band name, which I've learned never to do ever again. From now on, if I do a heavy metal song, it's still going to be Anything Box, because there's no point in deviating from what you're doing just to give it a different name and thinking that you're going to do something so different. It wasn't. GPK ask a great question here, and I want to make sure this question is I'm getting it correctly, but it says, does sampling change a lyric or the direction of a song, and do you feel you're starting over on the development? When you say sampling, do you mean like a sample taken from a record? Like if I start with a sample, or I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, but I think I know what you mean. But it's worth exploring that question. So I think it goes with the sound question. Yeah, so sounds. Yes, it does. In fact, I use them as focusing devices, and we're going to talk about that a little bit, but I wanted to play you a video. I'm a big, huge fan of David Lynch. I love David Lynch's work. I know some of you might think it's weird stuff, but I love David Lynch. And I got lucky enough to snag a video where he talks about creative processes, and he's talking about this idea of the size of the consciousness that you're adopting is going to be proportional to the ideas that come to you. And I thought that it was excellent, and I think he explains it really well. And so I want to touch on what he says, but I want you to see it for yourself. It's just 2 minutes, and then we're going to get into like some really good stuff. I lost my train of thought. Sorry, need a drink. Alfonso, I hope you're in the house, because your treat is about to come up. So yeah, I'm going to play you this David Lynch video real quick because I want you to see it for yourself. His view is very similar to mine in that if you're able to practice meditation, this is one of the reasons that I brought up the little man and super consciousness. So on a deeper level, one could get into serious meditation, and meditation is a great device, but not everybody can do it. So I don't like to tell people go meditate or learn how to meditate, because a lot of people can't do it. I myself have a lot of problems with meditation in the traditional sense. So I can meditate. I have meditated, and I do it every day, but not in the conventional sense. So the whole transcending, transcendental, I cannot pronounce that word. But thank you. So good. You don't want to miss this one. So I decided I wanted to practice this for myself before the stream. And I wanted to see how long it would take for this to take. Yeah, I can't say it. Transcendental. It sounds like being at the dentist office there because of the word dental in there. But yeah, transcendental meditation. Anyway, I want you to hear David talking about it first, and then I'll tell you the experiment I did and what resulted in such a short time. Here we go.
Your creative process.
Yeah. Ideas. We're nothing without an idea. So I say that a desire for an idea is like a bait on a hook. And you're desiring an idea. And you have to have patience, just like you do in fishing. How deep that hook goes depends on the size of that ball of consciousness. And desire, another word for it is like focus. Just focus on some, and it's a little bit like daydreaming. Thoughts come and thoughts come and thoughts come, and maybe, boom, an idea comes that is so thrilling. You've caught a little purple fish with red fins and little dancing speckled eyes. And this little fish could be just a fragment of the final film, but you love this fragment. You love this fish. And that idea, you write it down so you won't forget it. Then, now that you have that fish, even more powerful bait. And soon others will swim in and join to it. And a thing will start emerging called a script. And it goes like that, for me anyway, fragments. But it's all ideas coming, ideas that I fall in love with. And I'm going to fall in love with different ideas than you will. But there's billions, trillions of ideas coming. Ideas for everything. So that's how it goes. Then you get the ideas organized in a script, and then you translate those ideas to cinema. And along the way, you stay open because a thing isn't finished till it's finished. There can be happy accidents. You say, how did I get so lucky to get this thing? I thought this was complete, but this is beyond the beyond fitting in here and jumping it. Stay on your toes. And don't walk away from any element until it feels correct, because it's built out of many, many, many elements. Stay true to the idea all along the road, and then you have some hope of the whole working.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Your creative process.
A couple of things that he said that were very interesting, and one almost contradicts something that I said earlier, but I'll correct that first. The first of which is when he says, don't let it go and don't stray from it. He doesn't mean work on it until it's done. He's not really saying that. What he's really saying, because I heard the whole thing is about an hour long. What he's saying, though, is don't let go of the love for the idea. And that's the part that I don't want to ruin. And that's what I was trying to say that was very important earlier, which is if you're working on something to the death and you're forgetting that the idea started from the love of a sound or the love of a lyric or the love of a melody, if that part gets left behind, then the idea will not flourish, and you will not, and I say this from experience, it will not attract the other things that come with it. So it's very important for me. Actually, Mark, I will. I don't think I have it handy, unfortunately, because, but if you look up David Lynch on meditation, I think there's like 5 different videos where he talks for about an hour. They're great things and they're worth watching. Absolutely. So it's a real thing. So this morning I was looking over, I'll explain to you one of the things that happened. So how I put this into practice is that this morning I was thinking, so these are the things that, people want me to play for tonight. I've got a bunch of different things. And, Alfonso, who's listening, had picked Our Dreams, and I was all set to play it. It's no big deal because, of course, it's off piece. Just get the thing and play it. But I basically have only 3 versions of the song that I could ever play because there's no demo really. Well, there is a demo, but okay. The demo version, which is 1, pinky. Yeah, we'll do it on my pinky. Version 1, that's on a demo. An Edit the Dream thing, which is okay, but it wasn't the one I was thinking of. And the album version, which is fine, but I felt like, it's okay, what could happen? So what I wanted was a way to edit something really quick that would be better than just the album version, but not stray from it. And so I decided to work on a 12-inch version of it. And I thought, didn't I start one a long time ago? And with all the different projects that I've come across, and yeah, it is hard to remember everything that you're doing, I basically said to the little man, hey, listen, if there is in one of the hard drives, there's some sort of project, go find it, tell me where it is, because I need it. I might need it for tonight. So, and sure enough, I found the project, and I realized I had gone through it a lot further than I believed I had. In fact, I'd done so much work on it that I was like, I can't even believe that I did this. When did I do this? Little man comes back with a little laugh, says, in a different universe, but it's complete. Go finish. And maybe you can even finish it for tonight. And I was like, what the, like these are those weird things that happen. So I hadn't thought about this thing for years. I think it sat on my drive for years. And so I opened it up and I messed around and I was able to do it. And it filled a different idea. So before I play it, because I want to play it for you, but I want you to understand where it comes from. So number one, I was ruminating in my journal about the need to find this project that I had done years ago and see if there was anything salvageable in it. So number one, there it was. The other thing that was really important is that I was thinking that for live shows, there should be a disc, because I get asked this question all the time. When people buy CDs at the shows, they ask me, is this song on it or that song on it? And I'm like, why? Like, why that song? Because it's my favorite. And so I figured, well, so I guess some people want to buy their favorites at the shows and maybe in some sort of compilation of sorts. But of course, being me, I don't want this, the same stuff. Anyway, I digress. So I decided, yeah, I'm going to find the 12-inch version of this, the 12-inch version of that, and those are the things I'm going to put on this particular disc that only gets sold at shows. So I did that, and I had written in my book, I kid you not, something on the magnitude of, like, hey, you need to go find all those weird 12-inch things that you were doing projects with, that you're really tired of and you don't want to revisit, but you got to, because we need it for this live thing. We've got to do this. And so in the little side note, said, little man, go find those projects. So a little man did a twofer for me, found the project, 1, 2, gave me everything I needed to get it done. And I was like, it's just coming together. It's working. And it's at the tail end, because this really never happens. It's at the tail end of working on an album, which has taken a lot from me. So the idea that it could even find this stuff makes me happy. And you could say, well, that's just you. That's your own brain doing all the work. Yes. It could be, but it could also be the little man doing the work. And for whatever reason, I'm going to tell you, I couldn't remember half of the stuff that was on that folder. So opening it and playing with it was fun. So obviously I got to a point, I put it away, I walked away from it, but I still loved the idea enough that I didn't delete it. And thankfully I found it. And so here it is. I'm going to play it for you right now. Our Dreams, Edit 24. And there it is. Not bad for day one of opening a folder and realizing that you were halfway through. So I was like, oh shit, I have something. But you know, it's just, I don't know what it's, I don't know what it is yet, but it'll be something. So, anyway, I'll keep working on it. So we'll see. But I think, yeah, I'm closer now to what I thought. But anyway, I digress. I will have more news for you next week about album stuff because we have a lot of work to do ahead of us, my A-Box fam. I'm going to ask your help so much in the next coming months. I swear, it's not going to be like any other album I've ever released. It's a little bit of crazy stuff that has to happen, but it's worked out really well. I'm just happy that it's done. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. So, super consciousness for the songwriter is a very important tool, and you've got to use it. And you can, like I said, if some of the concepts seem icky, or like for some people it's like, oh, it's a little bit on the religious side, this whole idea of meditation and prayer and, weirdness. Well, look at it this way. You're going to need meditative devices no matter what. So surround your workspace, because this is another thing I see sometimes that it kind of bugs me sometimes when I see somebody's studio and all I see is the gear. And I see like every synth that was ever made is around the room wired, but there isn't a single beautiful picture in there. There is no poster of their favorite band or something that they made when they were a kid. Like, these are things that are very important. Surround yourself with stuff that I call them meditative devices. You can call them whatever you like. They could be time travel devices. They could be universe jumpers. That whatever you want to call them, that's what they are. For me, they're meditative devices. I have a radio that literally stares at me while I'm staring at the screen, and its antenna is up. If I look up, I see a robot that I built out of weird things that actually walks. I have a little mini reel-to-reel like sitting right there to my right. If I look to my left, I have a wonderful little plushie toy that Alfonso's daughter made for me. I have a device that I built. I have a piece that I took from a broken wall in an abandoned building. It's literally sitting right next to me. Twin Peaks. We talked about Twin Peaks. Look, that is literally sitting right there on my MS-20 next to my robots and my little things that are surrounding my equipment. And the reason that they're there is to subconsciously, they give me ideas because they've done it before. They are devices that I've used in the past. Of course, the other thing that you don't see is I have about 10 sketchbooks underneath me, sitting underneath that are filed away. I pull those on occasion and just waddle through them. I'm going to answer a question that JPK asked earlier, and I'm going to say that sound, for me, plays a huge role. It's obvious because that's why I do electronic music, that I will do a million things with sounds first. So the question that was asked was if a sample changes or adds the direction of a lyric. Well, I'm going to clue you in on something interesting. More recently, I've decided to follow that road even more. Meaning, I am looking for slices of time or slices in time with the sounds. So what I'm hoping to do is to extrapolate something, song or a lyric, out of something at the fastest point possible, meaning at the very beginning when I find it. And for sure, what happens is that the sounds then dictate where the next thing is going. And it's a very, I don't know how to explain it better than this, but they are focusing devices. Steven on Facebook says, when I was in high school at art class, a great teacher taught me how to tap into my right brain creativity using music and deep focused. I earned best in show on a contour drawing I have no memory of creating. Literally, I woke up after working in a 45-minute trance. That's the stuff I'm talking about. That's the stuff that happens. This is why when someone says something like, hey, and by the way, congratulations on that, Stephen. Congratulations that you're able to tap into it. Because that is the superpower that you want to train yourself for. How to tap into yourself deeply, so deeply, that you can do a 45-minute run through a song or through anything and then come back later and say, how the hell did this happen? Like, when did this happen? How did this occur? At what part of, you know what I mean? So, at any rate, I said at any rate, that is the stuff that good songs are made of, to me. And that's for a type 2. Remember, I differentiated type 1 and type 2 in the last stream. And if you missed that, you should listen to it because, you know. But I will say this. If you have trouble tapping in, then what you have to do is collect experiences. That's the other thing that we talked about last week. You can ruminate on the experiences themselves. And I did mention that I myself have trouble meditating. So how I meditate, in case you are interested in knowing my techniques, I'll tell you. My best way to meditate is to take my notebook, go into a random cafe, sit down, watch people, and write down everything that comes out of my mind, no matter what it is, 2 to 3 pages, straight up garbage, whatever it is. I'm emptying my brain. And as I'm doing it, things start to happen. And the things that I'm closest to, like the album at the moment, or art for the album, or things of that nature, those ideas just start coming. And of course, I've let them in because I've decided that I'm going to let them in all the time. So the ideas just come. And what I do is just write them down. Some of them are good. Some of them are not good. Some of them may be far off the beaten path. Some are on the exact path. But I think that, in a way, journaling is a form of meditation. Walking and just taking in nature is a form of meditation. Anything that sort of empties out your brain is allowing the other things to come in to fill those little spaces up with the ideas. So you got to make yourself open to getting the ideas. I would definitely recommend mindfulness as something to try. And well, let's play a song, and when I come back, I will we'll talk a little bit about mindfulness and songwriting, because they do go hand in hand. Oh, that's awesome. I am going to mention that right after we come back. So, because that was great, what you just wrote. I loved it. So this one is for, I need my list. Oh, yes. This is for Robbie Wasabi, who was very nice, left me a little compliment, and I know what his favorite song is, so I'm just going to play it. This is Beat of Life for Robbie.
My affection is the focus of it all. Beat of life. Beat of life. Beat of life.
Beat of Life. Ooh! I thought the other song was going to start. So, the comments tonight are the thing that I live for on this stream. I'm going to tell you this right now. These comments are phenomenal, and they can teach you a lot. And so you could learn a lot from other people besides me. So this is one of the reasons why I think that me teaching songwriting, because someone had asked me to do it, which is why I thought that I would make these 2 streams, or I didn't know it was going to turn into 2 streams, but it did. But one of the reasons that I wanted to do it was because I knew that things like this were going to surface. So here's a couple little awesome bits that I got from some of you, my A-Box fam, which I love you, all of you. So my on Meta says, gardening. I never feel closer to God than when I have my hands in dirt. I have to tell you that is a very profound thing, because even though I myself do not do gardening, I know exactly what you mean, because last Sunday I went climbing on ocean rocks, like kind of dangerous ones too, to be honest. But I went climbing on these rocks, and the feeling that I got was so good that when I came back, I immediately went right back to painting, and the album just seemed closer to me. Like I could feel it, like saying, yeah, this feeling, you need to put it in here somehow. And it was a good feeling. So I loved that comment, and this one from Steven, also on Meta. I have this weird sensation when I'm remixing a song that the music takes me where it wants to go. I am not creating anything, merely following instructions from elsewhere. Odd. And that's exactly it. That is what I'm talking about. You reach in, you let the stuff do its work. The little man knows what to do. He's going to find the right sounds. He's going to seek out the universe to find the right sounds if it's not present or in the situation, and put you in it. Sue Vargas from also on Meta says, dancing. Recently diagnosed with high anxiety. Sorry if I'm, but it is on the chat. So, but she said dancing does that. Just came home from an event. She mentioned some people, and yes, everything disappeared. So that is what I'm saying. These are, and obviously dancing releases endorphins. Thank you, Mai, for that. So dancing, doing physical things in nature will definitely, they can be and will become meditative things, so long as you are open. And JPK says, my meditation is music. I love a song that takes me to another place, gives me meaning, and sometimes clear my head, and I'm able to focus. Exactly. And finally, another one here that I really liked. Mark said, I don't know if Steven can see my comment here because he's watching on Facebook. He's on YouTube. But I hear you on the song wanting to go somewhere. I make sound effects for video games and film, and I often feel that I just play with sound until I find something that feels right. And then when I do try to follow it, I try to follow it until the whole moment starts to take shape. It's fun, and I lose myself when doing it. And that is the interesting phrase right there. And this is one you should remember. It's fun, and you lose yourself when doing it. That is to say, the ego disappears. The ego part of us disappears and joins in with the thing you're creating. It becomes part of what we're doing, so much so that our own self-identity gets erased in the process. And that is why when you step back from it, you're like, how did this happen? Like, how did I find it? Like, if you really try to retrace the steps of how you made the remix, how you wrote the song, you can find some of that. Like you'll say, oh, I wrote the lyric first, I remember, but then I think this happened. No, that happened. It's actually a haze, because if you did it right, the process should become invisible. And that is probably the most important thing that I wanted. Oh, it's bad. It's not that bad anymore. It's this one. It's almost gone. Thank you though. It's literally like clearing up. Thankfully, I'm not poking myself in the eye at night when I'm sleeping anymore. But that is the to me, those are, yes, Steve Legro said grounding. Absolutely. Ground yourself as much as you can. And I know some people think, oh, it's corny. Grounding is corny, but it's not. When you walk on grass barefoot, something magical happens. When you take a walk along the beach, something magical happens. When you people watch and you write in your journal, something magical happens. So you got to get outside of yourself to find those directions if you're looking for ideas for songs. And these are probably the best ways you can do it. So, well, thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you, all of you. So we've got time for, well, we got time for two, and I'm going to just play them back to back, I think. And then we'll end it off. This one was for, who requested this one? Oh, Jason Smith had requested this one, which was, he wanted to hear the title track from the album Hope. And I thought I would do it. So, oh yeah, moving water. That's it. Ah, it's a wonderful thing. I'm telling you, man, I was climbing rocks in the ocean. I loved it. I'm going to take a video of it next time because you have to see where I went. It's pretty cool, actually. But I digress. I'll take the swig while I'm, yeah. Oops.
Everybody here is breathing, everybody here is hoping. Everybody here is dreaming, everybody here is calling. Can you feel the love? Everybody lives forever in
Yeah, I'm glad I got a picture that I was able to find a picture of it. Let's see if I could find another one. Well, there's a couple, but oh, here it is. Oh, this is where I was. Yeah, let me see if I can like show you this. Come on. Oh, it's being a punk. It doesn't want me to go there, but anyway, it was this place. Look. That's where I was. And yeah, I was climbing all around the I don't know, I was climbing around the just going around the ocean, and it was fantastic. Oh, it was so good. Anyway, I digress. But yes, it was really cool. Sort of random. We didn't really mean to find the rocks and climb them, but it was just so much fun. Anyway, I hope to do it again soon, because it did give me that creative, I don't know, that creative juice, like I'm always looking for that. So, because I know that the more of it I store, the easier it is for me to come up with lyrics later or imagery, because it'll just be pulled from that same, remember what I talked about, that storehouse, that those memory portals, as I like to call them, which I travel through all the time. But anyway, it's time. But I'm going to leave you with one song that was requested by Sherry, and I don't think I ever play this one as much. It's from Worth. And I'm going to let you guys go, and we will talk next week. And it will be fun. I don't know what the topic's going to be, but I hope you enjoyed the whole songwriter thing. And if you have any questions, or if you want to talk more about this stuff, you can always reach out to me on X, in the comments on Facebook, here in the video, wherever you like. I will do my best to answer your questions, because I love anything that has to do with creativity. So if any of you has a block, or you're just trying to figure something out, just hit me up. I don't mind answering questions. I love it. So thank you so much, Mark. Coming from you, that means a lot, actually. So anyway, I'm going to let you go with the last one. Everybody has a wish. And I will see you all next week. Meanwhile, Moon Chat will stay open for a bit. Wrong one. Yeah, wrong one. What happened to it? We lost the Moon Chat. Oh, well. Oh, there we go. Here we go.
I
By the way, happy birthday, Joe Hernandez's mom. Give your mom a hug, Joe. Good night.
I'm tired of it. Can't you see it?